Welcome back, my friends. Last season, we covered everything from raves, to plants, to goths, to Disneyland. Now, in Season 2, I invite you to sit back and hold on for dear life as I guide you through the new paranormal. Ah, greetings, my friends. I am Lonesome the Ghost. I bet you're wondering why I look so different. Well, it's the new skincare routine. Yes, I know, I'm a ghost, and technically ghosts have no skin, but critiquing the verisimilitude of this series is like critiquing the nutrition in onion rings. Just go with it. Our current pandemic has sensibly made most of us hyper-aware of our personal hygiene, and today's episode is all about skincare. My guest today is skincare specialist extraordinaire, Hyram. That's Hyram, one word, like Beyonce. Welcome, Hyram.
Hi, Lonesome.
Nice purple hair. Why is skincare important to you?
I would say is because it's a perfect balance of taking care of your health while also taking care of your confidence. It's a equalized boost of confidence, feeling good, focusing on your aesthetics to make sure you look your best while feeling your best, while also making sure you're maintaining and taking care of the health of your skin.
I'm sure you've seen your fair share of scary skincare routines, but what's the scariest?
The scariest skincare routine I've ever seen someone use on themselves was probably when I saw people doing DIY microneedling. Microneedling is a service provided by only licensed estheticians and dermatologists where you have little needles that rapidly puncture the skin. And they make the skin bleed. Essentially, you're purposefully wounding your skin to be able to help it regenerate itself. But it's very risky. You can risk a lot of skin damage. Obviously, you're bleeding all over, and it should only be performed by people who are, board certified, licensed. And I saw many YouTubers doing it on themselves with no certification, no experience, using some of the highest strength microneedling and essentially smearing the blood all over their face and telling their audience, their very impressionable audience, you can do it too. I think that was the most horrifying thing I've ever seen, because it's essentially the same thing as taking a relatively complex medical procedure and giving the tools to a random person and saying, you can do it too. All you just need is these tools, while completely ignoring the necessary experience and risks that come around that you need to know by going to school beforehand. And that freaked me out pretty much.
Like I always say, always give 100%, unless you're giving blood. Hyram, what is one scary fact about the human skin?
A fun random fact about the human skin, I see there's two different ones, a fun one and maybe a little bit of a scary one. First, the skin is constantly regenerating itself, so we're shedding ourselves every 30 to 60 days, depending on how young you are. If you're younger, you're shedding yourself every 30 days. If you're older, you're shedding yourself every 60 days. And the skin is constantly in that cycle. So we're essentially like snakes.
Speaking of snakes, why don't snakes need to weigh themselves? Because they have their own scales.
And I'd say another thing is that we have tiny little bugs that are constantly living on the surface of our skin, reproducing, that essentially live there and can be somewhat healthy to our skin, but also if they are in numbers too high on our skin, can cause skin issues. But they're constantly living on the essentially biome of our skin and reproducing. But it's a little gross thinking about how many tiny little bugs are actually there.
How has the pandemic affected your skincare routine and your YouTube content creation?
Everyone's struggling with breakouts due to masks, dryness. Everyone's staying inside a lot more. So the typical skincare concerns that a lot of us are seeing are totally different. And I'd say the main one being mask acne, what it's called. And that's what I've been struggling with as well as very dry lips from constantly wearing a mask. So I've really had to amp up making sure that I'm properly moisturizing beforehand, using a really good moisturizer overnight while also using some exfoliating treatments on the mouth area, and desperately attempting to find the most hydrating lip balm out there that stays for a long time. But I struggle with that one. That's always a struggle for me. And I'd say in terms of YouTube content creation, has definitely changed. I've started producing a lot more content since the pandemic started, simply because I didn't want people to be at home bored and thinking about stressors like the pandemic, like work, like money. My goal is always to be a positive distraction on my channel. And with the excess time people have at home, I wanted to make sure that they had content every single day. So I started posting a lot of YouTube content, and that has pretty much continued throughout the course of the year.
What happened when Dracula uploaded illegal content to YouTube? Account suspended. How do you personally motivate yourself to stay creative during this pandemic?
I'd say the main thing is like thinking about how people right now are really stressed and how there are 1,000,001 reasons to be worried about the future, worried about their finances, worried about their lives, worried about the lives of their family. It's an unprecedented time, so we're not familiar with having to stay inside as much as we are. And with that, and all the time that comes online, social media isn't exactly typically the place where you go to find peace, tranquility, separation from the world. So, there's a lot of stressors. And I think what motivates me most is thinking about like how many people are at home eagerly waiting, for me to upload a video like they say they are in my comment section, kind of counting on me or relying on me to produce that content. Personally speaking, YouTube has always been my passion, and I have always created videos purely for the enjoyment, and all the work that I put into beforehand was just for enjoyment. Now I'm able to thankfully see some opportunity in terms of like business opportunities and finances and things that come about directly because of my video content creation, which pushes me all the more to start creating, because it's like, oh, not only do I get to create videos that I love, I also get to, support myself from it. So it makes me all the even more motivated to create that content. But I'd say first and foremost, helping people has always been my primary purpose for how I stay motivated.
When do YouTubers know it's time to retire? When they get 401k likes. What one message do you have for viewers at home to maintain a healthy new paranormal?
I would say finding somewhat of a routine within your day. Obviously, I love to focus on a skincare routine, but it could be a different form of self-care. It could be reading. It could be going out into nature. Something that allows you to have some sense of stability in this very unstable time. And I love a skincare routine for that, because you're able to really focus on yourself for a good 5 to 10 minutes. But also, I'd say finding a passion and sticking to that right now, I think has opened up the opportunity for so many people to really critically analyze how they're using their time. And I think if you haven't already, now is the perfect time to start working on a passion project or something. I mean, YouTube started as a passion project, and now it's thankfully turned into my career. And I don't know where I would have been beforehand because of the pandemic, not having YouTube. So, passions can turn into something incredible. And I think right now, when people are at home or do have more free time, is the perfect time to start working on something.
Ah, yes. Well, Hyram, it is now time for the lightning round. Favorite movie?
Hotel Rwanda.
Favorite fast food French fries?
Definitely In-N-Out Burger.
What was your last Halloween costume?
Poison Ivy.
Favorite part of the human face?
Smile.
If you could sing one song on American Idol, what song would that be?
Via Dolorosa by Sandy Patty.
YouTube like or YouTube comment?
Definitely YouTube comments.
Iced coffee or hot coffee?
Iced coffee every day.
What is one thing you miss about the early 2000s?
The premium music quality.
Where do you not mind waiting?
Disneyland ride lines.
If you could uninvent one thing, what would it be?
Guns, definitely.
Ah, bold, intriguing answers, Hyram. Thank you so much for shooting the sheet with me today.
Goodbye.
My friends, I must ghost you for now. Until next time, goodbye.